Good evening. Thank you for joining us. My name is Tawana Rivers. This is the 10K Project. We have another amazing founder joining us this evening, Mr. James Parker, with 1921 Incubator, a familiar face to many of you because Mr. Parker has presented to the 10K Project before and had such a great turnout that he decided to come back and hang out with us again. So, James, welcome back to the 10K Project. We are so happy to have you, and we look forward to hearing updates and where the project is, how much you've raised to date, how many slots you have open. We want to know all the things.
All right, I love
But
it.
first,
Well,
for
I'm
the
ready.
people who didn't get to meet you the first time, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure, absolutely. Excuse me. So my name is James Parker. I'm the CEO and founder of 1921 Coworking and 1921 Incubator NFP, not for profit. And a little bit about me: military brat. My dad was in the army. My mother worked for the government. Born in Fairbanks, Alaska. Grew up mostly in Germany and Minnesota. So I kind of take a global approach to seeing how we can move communities forward. I used to work for a software company years ago. Got bit by the Save the World bug. Went in the nonprofit. And decided to now step away from nonprofit that I and create an opportunity to combine tech and social services, right? Social work to move low income and emerging communities forward by launching tech startups in these communities so that we can create jobs in the communities. But not only that, so that we can help create generational wealth among smaller investors. So we're named to honor Black Wall Street, the historic Black Wall Street of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And that's where we get the 1921 from, because that was the year that a mob tried to destroy nearly 600 businesses and uproot the lives of more than 10,000 citizens. And they almost succeeded, but Black-owned businesses continue to stay open. They continue to operate, and they continue to meet the needs of the community that was Black Wall Street. And it's interesting how Black Wall Street got started, because you had two gentlemen. There's a little more, but two of the most identifiable ones, J.B. Stratford and O.T. Wardlaw, were very, very successful and financially wealthy, and they invested in a lot of the land and the businesses so that those businesses could get started. And so it's really, that's what 1921 is about, and that's why I'm so excited to be speaking to the 10K Project, because we are appealing to you as if you are the founders of of Black Wall Street, meaning you can help get these companies started. So that's a little bit about me.
Wonderful. Thank you so very much, James.
Mhm. Thank you for having me. So, jump right in.
Let's
Okay.
do it.
All right, let's do it. So again, James Parker with 1921 Coworking Incubator, and this is our funding initiative proposal. Real quickly, we're going to go over some brief executive summary points, a little bit about me, which I kind of went over already. What is the equity stakeholder opportunity? Kind of a proposed timeline, some financial projections, some of our focus startups, some little bit of media, a little bit of things that we're doing right there. So, our goal is to raise about 200K or more to complete our launch of startups. The goal is to train, fund, and launch minority and women-owned tech startups, um, to launch these startups, and then launch these startups in the community, train individuals from different communities for tech careers, create thousands of high-paying jobs in the community, careers rather, provide tech and manufacturing careers for returning citizens, set aside equity stake in each startup for community investments, and then here's where we're really excited about. We get a chance to set aside a 1% shared equity stake in each startup launched from 1921 Incubator for our stakeholders. Now, again, a little bit about me: serial tech entrepreneur. I think I shared, born in Fairbanks, Alaska, raised mostly in Germany and Europe. And I take a global approach to moving low income communities forward. We're named to honor Black Wall Street. And our goal is to kind of mirror the spirit of Black Wall Street and create a bridge to economic wealth and economic growth in the community. And although I'm a tech entrepreneur, I also have more than 2 decades of nonprofit and social service work and experience. So I see 1921 as a combination of both tech and social services when moving the community forward. It's a picture of one of the offices that we designed in our co-working space, and this is a picture of me on WGN's popular daytime Chicago TV show. Now, what is 1921? It's a co-working space and tech manufacturing incubator. So again, one of the offices. These are some of the tech startups we'll be launching. People using the office, and then we have a young tech program where we introduce young people in the community to tech, 3D printing, all kind of things. Now, what is a tech incubator? So some of you may be asking, well, what exactly is that? So a tech incubator or technology business incubator, TBIs, are basically programs that help early stage startups that use technology as their main means of innovation. So if you have an idea, one of your goals is to get into like one of the top tech incubators. So it's kind of like when you go into college, right? You may want to go to the Howards, or you may want to go to Morehouse, or you may want to go to Harvard or Princeton. All right. You want to try and get into the top schools. And that's the way incubators work. All right. Now, as we know, Harvard doesn't take everyone, just like tech incubators don't take everyone. So TBIs provide a range of services to help startups grow, gain traction in the market. They also provide office space, maybe sometimes administrative services, business planning, product development, prototyping, networking, mentoring, and more. They also bring in the VCs who are looking to invest in tech startups. So VCs look to tech incubators to find the next big thing to invest in and ultimately get the main thing, which is equity. So a couple of major ones are like Y Incubator. They help launch Airbnb, which we're familiar with. AngelPad helped launch Uber, helped them raise $2.65 billion. I mean, they've made $2.65 billion worth. And then 1871, which is in Chicago, and we will be partnering with them. They've launched over 650 startups over the past 12 years. Cameo, which is the app that it lets you pick a celebrity to wish a family member or a friend a birthday or whatever, launched out of 1871. Now, what is the 1921 equity? We call it stakeholder opportunity. So just like venture capitalists, so if you've ever seen Shark Tank, the sharks are called VCs, venture capitalists. So they look to tech incubators again to find an opportunity to invest in the next big thing and mostly get equity. So 1921 Incubator is uniquely designed to give a limited number of individuals the opportunity to gain a shared equity stake in every tech and manufacturing startup launched from 1921 Incubator NFP. So we set aside 1% shared equity stake in every startup. There are about 300 donors. Well, that's not it actually anymore. We're actually down to, I should have had that number ready, but it's not 300. I can tell you that. I think we're closer to, I had it on here somewhere. We're closer to about maybe 100, 110 maybe roughly, and don't quote me, I got to get the exact number. So we've done very well with meeting with stakeholders and outside other investor groups that we're working with as well. The minimum investment is only $500. And because 1921 Incubator NFP is a nonprofit corp, you can receive a what they call a contemporaneous written acknowledgement of a charitable gift of anything over $250. So anything over $250, you could literally write off on your taxes. And I failed to mention this, but a lot of the tech incubators are nonprofits because a lot of times VCs or even companies want to give money to write that off, but then in exchange, they're able to get equity in companies. So both parties win, everyone wins. So here's a bit of our financial projection. So our goal is to launch about 35 startups every year. So with the fiscal year 2025, if we hit our goals, our KPIs of hitting those 35 startups, our projected gross profit is about $1.2 billion off those 35 startups. And that's kind of low because the app we're going to talk about, one of our first apps, is projected to bring in that, not that, but nearly a quarter of that by itself. But our projected gross profit is about 1.2 billion. 1% shared equity dividend is about 12 million. So 1% of 1.2 billion is 12 million. At 300 equity stakeholders, that would be we're using gross numbers here, obviously, because we don't have the taxes yet and salaries, but it's just more so you can follow along with the numbers easier. But that's about a $40,000 dividend payout off those 35 tech startups, right? So as you can see, those who've invested in like 5 or 6 or 2, you just basically double the 40K. So if you invested, let's say, hey, James, I want to get 2 equity stakeholder positions, then you would double that. That'd be an $80,000 dividend payout. So it'd be based on how many shared equity stakeholder positions you have. And then fiscal 26, obviously, 35 more startups. The first 35, well, they're still in business, and then we're launching another 35. So we're going to allow those to gain traction. But let's say the first 35, hey, they've increased in value. And some of the 35 in the fiscal year 26 are now profitable. So our projected growth that we're looking for is about $2 billion at the end of fiscal year 2026. Now, here's the cool part about equity. So a lot of people will buy shares in companies because anybody can buy shares, right? You look at the stock market, anybody can buy shares. But equity is more important because equity allows you to share in the revenue. Okay. With shares in a company, you're not necessarily sharing in the revenue. You're more so your projected payouts are based on how the stock market goes and how the company goes, how the stocks go. But when you have equity, when that company makes money and it's in the black, you get a dividend payout. So at the end of 2026, you're looking at a $66,000 dividend payout for each equity stakeholder position. Now, remember, the first 35, hey, they're still in business. You're going to get another dividend payout from that. And that's why when you look at how investors, especially on the Shark Tank, how they continue to grow their wealth to generational is because they own those equities, that equity in those companies. So Damon John on Shark Tank invested about 200, I think it's about $230,000 in a sock company called Bombas. So you've probably heard the commercial. So Bombas is a company that if you buy a pair of socks, they give a pair of socks to homeless shelters, right? Homeless shelters for women, men, women, and children. So he invested about $230,000 into Bombas, and he got a 17% equity stake. Okay, Bombas made like one point some or 200 and some $1 million, something like that. Damon John's dividend payout, his equity return was like, what was it? Like 30 some $1 million. And I can get the exact numbers, but imagine making a $230,000 investment, getting 17% equity and getting this huge dividend payout. That's how equity works. And that's why you want equity over shares. Shares are awesome, but if you can get equity in the company, that's a lot better. Now, here's some of the upcoming launches, and if you notice, you're going to see a new company on there. So, as I mentioned, we have plans to launch more than 350 startups over the next 10 years. We currently have 10 startups in our pipeline, including Viability. Excuse me. Viability is an AI app that tests the viability of a business idea, and it gives you a viability score for that idea. Banks and some VCs we've spoken to have said they would consider having people add their viability score to their business plan before being considered for a loan. That would be huge considering there's a couple 100,000 people who start a business every month. So you can imagine if we were able to, if that became kind of like, hey, did you get a viability score? What that could look like. Imagine 10% of that, 20,000 people um, paying $79. I'm going to do the quick math here because I love math. Times $79. That's $1.5 million a month right there. But it's over 200,000 that get started. So it'd be great if we got all of them. Anyway, so that's Viability. Tabled is a subscription based home goods app. So if you're familiar with like, different subscription based models where you can get items sent to you every month. It's the same thing. So that's exactly what we're doing. We're allowing people to be able to sign up for a subscription based model that gives you home goods, things for your home, dining room table, living room, bedroom, every month. So that's kind of what we're very, very excited about that because there's so many celebrities that want to get into the home decor. We will now give them a platform to have their items in front of customers. Funny story: Drew Barrymore, the actress, has a TV show. I'm in Walmart grabbing something, and I look up, and now she's pushing air fryers, like her own brand of air fryers. Why? Because the home decor field is $1 billion industry, and so now you're going to start seeing celebrities move to that. So we're trying to get ahead of the curve so that we can have a platform for them to push their items. Meet at Six is a new and safer way for singles to meet and fall in love. Best Date Night is the first app we developed to have couples that have date nights. And one of the things that I mentioned in another pitch, I'm very excited. Our very first fintech app is a company called Benki. Uh, does anybody know what Benki means or what what language that is? If you don't worry about it. I'll just say it for argument's sake, right? So Benki is Swahili for bank. And so one of the things, if you look at fintech, what fintech was designed to do, which was genius, it was to give people who were unbankable, right? Maybe their credit wasn't great, they couldn't get a checking account. So companies like Chime came and said, "Hey, You don't need a checking account. You can just have everything done online. All right. So it's called financial tech. So fintech is short for financial tech. But there's a bunch of them. So5, Chime, uh, um, Coinbase that deals with crypto. But what we decided to do was, well, that's great, but how can someone, but in order to buy a house, which is one of the things you really need, you don't need, but a condo or house, be able to get equity somewhere that you can own and pass down, you're going to need a checking account. So Binky is designed to be able to not only give people the ability to bank online, but we will be partnering with smaller banks, not like the Chases, because then they could take our idea, but the smaller banks where we say, hey, listen, we've got 500,000 people using our app, and we'd like to partner with you to give you 500,000 new customers and giving them a checking account. So you'll be able to do both online, financial tech, fintech, as well as have that checking account. Okay. So that's, we're very, very excited about that. I mean, you have no idea what we've been going through. We finally, when I talked about it last time, I couldn't even share the name of it. But I'm super excited that we're able to, that's kind of where we're going. So you'll be hearing a lot about that next year. This is a little bit about me. I've been very fortunate to be in media, NPR radio right there, NPR's affiliate, WBEZ Chicago. I've been on the Breakfast Brunch, again, back on Daytime Chicago, multiple podcasts, WVNO Radio, which is Black AM talk radio show. I've been on, again, a lot of things promoting moving communities forward through technology. Again, these are some of our current 1921 stakeholders that are all over the country that I'm very, very excited to announce. And then, bam, thank you to our 10K Project 1921 stakeholders. These are just some of them. You can see somebody there. She didn't want her picture. She just kind of held the hat out, which I thought was pretty funny. But these are some of our 1921 stakeholders from 10K Project. And this is kind of a picture. I was at the post office just mailing out hats. So we would love for you to be one of our 1921 stakeholders so I can send you a hat too, kind of like the one I have on. So 10K has been super awesome to us, super grateful. And I just wanted to highlight some of our 10K Project stakeholders. And we hope that you would want to be one of our 10K Project stakeholders as well. And we'll get you that hat. It's a beautiful hat. No one has it. Only people who have these hats are our stakeholders. And it's a great conversation piece because it allows you to talk about the historic Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, the very first app that we've launched from 1921 is Best Date Night. And I also want to share, thanks to the 10K Project and the investments, we actually just took the app down because we're about to add 2 more cities, Detroit and Milwaukee, to the app. So when we open it up again, you'll be able to look at it and you'll be able to pick a date night in Detroit and Milwaukee. All of that thanks to 10K 10K Project members becoming stakeholders and helping us move to that next level. So I definitely want to say thank you to that. And we would love to have more of you. So Best Date Night is the very first app to create date nights for couples. We'll skip that just for time's sake. But Best Date Night is a subscription-based app that allows couples the opportunity to simply choose a date night that they'd like to attend. So you can kind of see from the app screenshots we took, we list different date nights on here, and you simply pick the one you want to go to and show up. You don't have to bring any money because your subscription covers it. Your name is pretty much already on the list. So when a member chooses a date night, you get all the relevant information about that date night. So if it's a movie, you'll get the running time, you'll get what the rating is, and you can even watch a preview of the movie on the app. We're including a restaurant directory because not all date nights are going to have food, right? So if we host a movie date night, yeah, you can get popcorn, but you may want to eat before or after. Well, guess what? We're putting a restaurant directory in the app so that you can find a restaurant. We also are going to offer couples advice. And one of my favorites is the dream date night, where you could create a dream date night. If you had 24 hours for a great date night, what would you do? All right. And we've had some crazy ones. I think I shared in the last presentation. We're going to do it. A couple wanted to have lunch in Paris. I was like, what? And we figured out how to make it happen. So that will definitely give us some major press. But you get a chance to pick your dream date night. It may be overnight stay at a hotel, breakfast, massage, couples massage, go to a Broadway play. You have 24 hours for that dream date night, and Best Date Night pays for the whole thing. You can also find a black card. So if it's been a while since you've been on a date night and you want to really make it go nice, you can add a black card, find a black card to pick you up and bring you home for your date night. All of that in one app. And let's say you need to find a babysitter. Well, Sitter City is the largest online digital platform for finding a babysitter or nanny, and Best Date Night partner with them. We have an exclusive partnership with Sitter City. So now you can find a babysitter in the cities that we'll be launching in. You'll be able to find a babysitter just through this partnership with Sitter City. So Best Date Night has about 3 revenue streams. So membership, directories, that's the black card, the restaurant, and then ads and sponsorship. Our projected revenue for Best Date Night, when we look at just Chicago, there are about there are 2.3 million married couples in Chicago. So we're just using Chicago as an example. If Best Date Night garnered zero point 0.4, not even a full percent, not even a half percent, just 0.4% of those 2.3 million couples, we would garner $1.1 million a month, roughly $12 million a year. Now, mind you, that's married couples. That's not even including dating couples or couples that just got engaged. This is just married couples. So 0.4% of that would garner 1 million a month. So in Chicago, we're looking at about 25 million plus sponsorships and things like that. 10 cities, 250 million. So if we just duplicate it, 0.4% in 10 cities, that's roughly $250 million in revenue. If we do it in 20 cities, you're looking at $500 million in revenue. The Best Date Night Equity Stakeholder Opportunity. Basically, what we did was, like 1921, we set aside 1,000 stakeholder positions. The minimum investment is only $250, and you share 2% equity. Now, remember, if you're already a stakeholder invest in 1921, you automatically get a shared equity stake in Best Date Night. Okay, Best Date Night. This opportunity is really designed for people. Once we fill up 1921, they can't get in that, but they want to invest in individual apps that we launch. In addition, we have a lot of our investors who are not only investors in 1921, but decided, you know what, there's nothing wrong with double dipping. And it's not. You can invest in both as well. Now, the return on investment is very, very similar to 1921. Basically, what our projected growth that we shared right here at 250 million and 10 cities, that 2% equals 5 million, $5,000 per each equity stakeholder position. Okay. Here's some of the future launch cities. Best Date Night will launch in Chicago first. Other first markets will be in the Midwest, including Detroit and Milwaukee. Thanks to 10K Project, we're going to be able to move those up, and Indianapolis. The second markets will include Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, and Austin, mostly because Texas is so big, it literally has 4 major cities there. Now, if you meet anyone from Texas, they will tell you it's 5 major cities because Fort Worth is considered a city. Just so you know. So if anybody says there's 5 major cities, I told you first, okay? Orlando, Tampa, Phoenix, and San Diego. The first international markets will include Toronto, the UK, Sydney, and Paris. The total number of married couples, just so you know, in Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin, Indiana, Texas, Arizona, California, and Florida is over 64.5 million couples. This is an untapped market. If Best Date Night were to garner just 1% of that 64.5 married couples in just 8 states, okay? So not including the other states I mentioned or overseas, just 1%. If 1% of that 64.5 million were to join Best Date Night, we would garner about $766 million annually. Woo! Now, Best Date Night creates date nights on demand. So just same way you have Uber provides rides on demand, DoorDash provide food on demand, Netflix movies on demand. Best Date Night will provide date nights on demand. It's a huge and open market for married couples. All right, in the area of date night events. In every business, the keys are speed to market and to own the largest market share. Best Date Night will be the sole market share owner of this particular demographic in the country. Now, we already know that once we launch, other people are going to try and do it, right? They're going to be like, whoa, he isn't in Iowa yet. Let's create our own version. And that's fine. But Best Date Night will be the standard, all right? We will have the largest market share in the major cities. We'll be the first to tap that market and create a multi-million-dollar company just by giving people the opportunity to have a date night on demand. Some frequently asked questions. When does the equity stakeholder opportunity end? Best Date Night, it really ends once we've either filled it or we're already revenue positive. So once we're making money, then we don't need to raise any more capital, right? Can you invest in more than one equity? Absolutely. Position rather, absolutely. If you invest in more than one equity, you receive multiple dividend payouts. Yes. So as I shared with 1921, if you invest in more, obviously your return on investment, your dividend payout is bigger. And if the app is sold or to another company, well, excuse me, if the app is sold, that 2% equity, you own that. You own that. So you are part owners in Best Day Night. And this is why when you look at anything, ownership is so important. Being able to get that equity and own, because if it's sold, you get a cut. All right. You get that payout as well. And that's why we created it where the everyday person, anybody can get equity in 1921, Best Day Night, Binky, Tabled, Meet at Six, Viability, and the other apps we're working with, because that's how you create true generational wealth is when money is coming and you don't have to do anything. You don't have to sell anything. Because if you think about it, if you own shares in a company, in order for you to get those shares, what do you have to do? You have to sell the shares. So if you sell those shares, do you own those shares anymore? No, you don't. So you got the money, but you don't have the shares anymore, which means once you spend that money from the shares, you don't have anything else. You can't sell dividend payouts. You automatically get it. So every year you're getting a dividend payout. This was me on Daytime Chicago. Again, they love me. I'm glad they love me. We actually are working out a deal that every tech startup we launch will be featured on Daytime Chicago. So the founder of that app will be on Daytime. So we'll be able to get just incredible exposure for every app that we launch. Some of our Best Date Night members, and we do have some 10K project members who invested in Best Date Night. The mugs are like for real on back order, this kind of style. So we're still waiting. They are coming, I promise. Thank you again. We're excited to offer this opportunity and hope that you will join the crowd, become an equity stakeholder in 1921 and Best Date Night or just 1921. Either way, we would love to have you on board. That's my cell phone number. You can text me. I respond to text messages. So that comes directly here. All right. So you can always get in touch with me. And thank you very much. And then I need to come back.
Thank you, James.
Thank you. How do I come back? Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, there we go.
Listen.
I love it. I love it. That's right. That's right.
Thank you so much. That was absolutely wonderful. You guys put your questions in the Q&A. James, I want to just kind of go over the slots. So you said
Sure.
you had about 110
Yeah.
left.
Yes.
I know firsthand that as of tomorrow, that number is going to go down drastically.
Oh, wow. Okay, great.
So James had the opportunity to pitch to my investment club. They loved him, and we're waiting for the votes to finalize. And it's looking like money. So
All right, we're gonna fly. We're gonna make sure you win that Paris trip to Best Date Night.
So I'm so excited for you. So I say that to say, 10K family, now's the time if you're interested. Those slots will probably be gone shortly. They'll
Yeah.
be gone. So now's the time. Only if you're interested, right? No pressure,
Yeah.
but if you're interested, this is not the time to procrastinate. So I love that since we had you here the first time, Benki, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Benki?
Binky, yeah.
Benki was something new. We didn't talk about that the very first time.
Right.
So I
Exactly.
love that 1921 is we're seeing progress
Yeah.
already, which is wonderful. How does that feel?
Amazing. This is what every founder like me like prays for, right? I mean, and it's difficult out there. It really is. Now ours is a little different, right? We're not just one company. And I think that's what kind of made 1921 appealing to early investors was, hey, we're doing something that no one else is doing. You're able to make one investment, and then it's like investing in every tech startup we launch without
Mhm.
having to make another investment. Of course, we have a lot of investors who are like, you know what, that's good, but I want a little bit of that too, right? And I want some of that because, and again, There's nothing wrong with double dipping.
Right.
But it's exciting because I get this vision, one of my visions of coming true of creating actual generational wealth. So they did a study and it showed that generational wealth only lasts 1 to 2 generations.
Yes.
That's it. And the reason is because a lot of wealth is tied into assets. Okay. And so, in order for you to get the money from that asset, you have to sell the asset. So, if you have a building that you're leaving for your kids, okay, you've gone on to glory, your kids have the building. If they don't want that building, they're going to sell the building. They're not going to sell it for what it's worth because why? They want the money. So once
Right.
they get the money, once that money is gone, the next generation, they don't have anything from what you left. The beauty of dividends, the beauty of and why again I was sharing why these billionaires stay billionaires, they own equity in everything. So therefore, they're able it continues to come, period. And when they've passed on, that dividend payout continues to get paid out. You can't
Mhm.
sell it, right? I joke with my daughter. Are we still recording? Because I don't want. Okay, so I joke.
We
it's
are. So don't
okay.
don't tell her business because she'll be
I know I'm
mad
not.
at
I know she'll be mad, but I tell her that the dividends, you'll get it, honey. So even if you spend $200,000, right? Well, the following year you're going to get another plus more, right? So you can't run out of money. Although she may try, but anyway, I love her to death. Which is why she's an equity stakeholder. She's actually going to come work for 1921 very very soon. So I'm very excited about that. But that's why this is so when you look at Shark Tank, you don't have to be like, wow, I wish I had $500,000, right? Or
Right.
wow, I wish I had that I could do. No, you can do this. Now, obviously, Damon John is able to invest, a quarter of a million, whatever. So obviously it's payout, but you can do the exact same thing. And my goal is over that 10-year period, we'll be able to create the original goal was 300 millionaires, but we know we're not because people have bought 10, 5, 2,
Right.
3, but
Right.
at least we'll be able to create a multiple millionaires.
Very good. Edward asked, he said, I'm going to join you, James. We talked before. He said, so is it 250 or 500? So you've got two opportunities here.
Yeah.
$500 is the opportunity to invest in 1921, the incubator. So that's the
Hmm.
parent company, Edward, that will
Yeah.
have all of the tech companies underneath it. Then you have the date night app, right? That
Hmm.
is a separate investment. It still is underneath that 1921 incubator umbrella, but it also is a standalone investment. That's the one that's the minimum is 250. There's 1,000 slots. Did you know how
Yeah.
many slots you have left in
No,
that?
it's like 950 because we've really been pushing more 1921
Yeah.
and just really honing the app, adding the thanks to 10K, adding two more cities to the app, and so yeah. So, but it's about nine. I don't talk about it as much because I really want to, we want to get it out there and go from there. So yeah, but it's about 950.
Very good. And Edward, the deadline is when all the slots are gone, right? That's
Yeah,
that's when
that's
this
right.
is over.
Hmm.
Very good.
Absolutely. Someone said, "Ask, reach out to Brittany." Yeah, reach out to Brittany.
Yeah, so that's how
Or
you make
yeah,
the investment, right? So
yeah,
on that
exactly.
last slide you had, there was an email for Brittany, and Talisha's going to put that also. She'll put that information in the chat for us. But when you email Brittany, she'll respond back with you with instructions on how to execute the investment and get the paperwork in and all of that.
Yeah. Mhm.
So very, very good. What other questions? Sandra says, how are the funds protected or regulated? Are annual reports distributed?
Right. So annual reports will be well annually. The report will be distributed on both 1921 and whichever tech company people may have individuals in. Like we have some people who are only in best date night, right? And so there's an annual report for best date night. There's an annual report for 1921. So every year you'll get here's how much we've raised. Here's how much money's been coming in from either the co-working space or other revenue streams, and then how each tech startup is doing. Okay, because 1921 is a nonprofit. Um, you're literally making a donation to basically we're able to list it as a donation so that you can get a return on your return so you can write it off.
It off, yeah. So not only is your contribution a write-off,
Yeah,
you also get dividends from it.
yeah.
Wow. Very, very good. What other questions do you guys have?
I'm an Aries. I'm just kidding.
Long walks on the beach.
I know. Love to
Oh,
travel. I'm just kidding.
goodness.
I
Let's see what
was
else.
recorded. I am married. I'm sorry. Just joking. I'm just joking.
Don't get yourself in
I
trouble,
know. Don't
Jay.
get in trouble, right?
We want you to have 27
Right.
beautiful
27 more,
additional
right?
years.
I
Right,
know,
right.
right? So if I go missing, you know what happened.
That's right.
I'm joking,
Oh,
baby.
goodness.
Eddie Murphy. So
What else? What else is 1921 looking to do? So we've got the tech companies. We saw what's on the horizon. How do you find the tech opportunities?
sure. So every tech incubator has an application process. Okay. So uh, once we get through these first 10 we've already kind of identified just through different events and people we've met, we're like, wow, that's a good idea. We will then open up the application process because that's how we're going to get to that 350. All right. So the beauty of it is a lot of people don't make it into 1871. They don't get in the Y incubator.
Right,
They don't
right,
get into a lot of these tech incubators because they only take so many, right?
right.
So few. And so one of the things that we're able to do is that those that don't get in there, hey, we're like, hey, it's not that they didn't have a good product, but is that um, some of them, they pride themselves of only taking 10. We
Yeah,
only take 8. You know what I mean? And which I'm like, that's fine. We're like, look, I'm trying to launch 350 and create some black millionaires. If it's viable and what we look for, um, if it's viable, meaning what? It's going to make money and it's going to
mhm.
create jobs in the community. Okay.
Very, very
That's what
good.
we look for. It's going to make money and we'll be able to create jobs in the community.
Very
That's the main thing. So when you're
good.
making that investment, you're not just benefiting from it. You're
Mhm.
literally helping move the community forward. And so we're not waiting for the mayor, the governor, the president, the alderman, the whatever to do something. No, we're actually making it happen ourselves. And that's when you look at the spirit of Black Wall Street, that's what it is, right? It was two guys and more, but again, the most two recognizable saying, we've got money, we've got land, let's get this going. And that's really what we're trying to do.
Very good. Okay, I see some questions in the chat. My community's going rogue tonight. They're putting questions in the chat instead of the Q&A. So let me read some of these. What type of non-for-profit is 1921 categorized under?
Right. So 1921 is a night is in the state of Illinois, it is a not-for-profit corporation. So it's not a 501c3. So we're not tax exempt. But in the state of Illinois, because they had so many people starting nonprofits, it was taking forever to get their 501c3. So Illinois created the not-for-profit corporation, which means we are not-for-profit. We can take donations. You can write them off. We're just not tax exempt. So I still have to. I can't go to Target and here's my little letter. I want to save 30 cents, right? I was like, look, I'm not trying to save 30 cents, right? I just want to be in a position where we can accept donations because Molson Coors, the beverage company, they love what 1921 Incubator is doing in the community. They wrote me a check for $25,000.
Wow.
Now they can write it off, but it's a part of their, how they give money to, nonprofit organizations.
Mhm.
Well, they love what we're doing in the community. They love that we're building this facility where we're bringing business owners together. And they read about me in Block Club Chicago, which is an online publication, and they were like, "Hey, we read about you. We like it. We want to give to you." And I'm thinking, a couple $1,000. Hey, thank you very much. That he said they came, so they had a meeting. We had another Zoom. They came back and they're like, "Yeah, James, we want to give you $25,000." I
Wow.
just started crying because it's helping the vision of moving the community, and it made me feel like we're on to something. I know we're on to something.
Yeah.
So,
No, that's
but I cry
absolutely
now.
wonderful.
But
Yeah.
no, it was really good.
Miss Patrice asked about Marriage Ain't for Punk. So, Miss Patrice, I actually introduced James and Coach Cal. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to talk yet.
Was that Calvin?
Uh-huh.
Cal? Yeah, I think we corresponded via email. I think the last time we were trying to set up a time, or I was like, "Hey, I'm available when you are. I know I've been crazy busy.
Yeah, and so is
Uh,
Coach Cal. He's super, super busy
yeah.
also, but that is a connection you want to make.
Okay.
His app, Marriage Ain't for Punks, is about married couples staying
Right.
connected, right? And what better way than to do regular date nights, right?
Hello.
And
Hello.
so it's a perfect fit. So definitely reach out again and see if you guys can get on each other's calendar. But
We'll
yes, Mr.
definitely do that.
Priest, we did that after James was here the first time.
Yeah.
Gerald said, so is the investment in the nonprofit, is it, so he answered that it's not a
Right.
501c3, it is
It is a
the
not-for-profit corporation.
not-for-profit corporation.
Right.
Very good. Let's see what are the questions. Edward said the spirit of Black Wall Street must continue.
Yes. Listen, I was on a podcast. Gosh, I can't remember. I've been doing so many of them. And I said, if you we have gone from what 1921 was in less than 100 years, a little over 100 years, and we are nowhere near as
Wow.
Black businesses 100 years ago, right? And we've got to get that spirit back that says, hey, it's not I got you, I got mine, go get yours. It's I got mine, I'm going to help you get yours, and then once we come together, we're going to help her get hers, and
Yes.
then we're going to help and now you've got this beautiful thing, Black Wall Street. And I think I shared in the last one of my goals is because people are like, why are you going to sell the company? Listen, I want to mirror everything with Black Wall Street. And I think I looked up that portal because we're in the process of buying about 463 acres of land where we will rebuild a 2025 version of Black Wall Street.
Nice. So
Uh,
you looked up secure living?
yeah,
Good,
yeah.
and I
I
can
looked
make
at it.
that connection for you as well.
Okay,
Vontina and her husband are absolutely wonderful. When you're ready to have that conversation, I can
yeah,
help you coordinate that meeting. I
okay,
think that's wonderful, and
yeah.
another opportunity for the community to be a part of it.
Right,
I
you
think what
talked me
you're doing
into it.
is absolutely wonderful.
You talked me into it because I at first I was like, well,
I
I don't
know.
know. But I was like, okay,
Listen,
that would make
I
sense.
gotta look out for the everyday investor. Okay,
Right, no, and I appreciate
that's
it.
that
And
I
you
gotta
did.
do it. I gotta
You
do it.
did. Because I was like, I went into my team. I'm like, hey, let's do it this way. Because what made Black Wall Street so incredible was they owned the land. So when people look at the 1921 building, I own the building. I am a
Mhm.
stakeholder in the community. What we're creating. Oh my God. Once we get closer to it, I'll send you some of the artist renditions of what it'll look like, where we will take
Wow.
things from all over the world, high-rise condos. That's where we're going to launch 1921 Bank. Um, and and I mean, just there's so much I can't even go into all of it. My board like, quit talking about it. I mean, like, I'm like, I'm just so excited, So it's going to be major. It's going to be major. And there's a major celebrity person that I can't say, but anyway, super exciting.
Listen, when the time is right, we're gonna hear all about it. So
Yes, I can't
I
even.
just love that we
I,
are now connected. So this
I gotta stop
community
it.
will hear it first.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, for real, and that's why I said this is a whole blessing. Like I think you know it, but I don't think you really understand how a company like mine is so grateful for the 10K project. I can't even the words, especially after seeing two of my friends in tech have to shut down their startup. They couldn't keep raising the capital, and it's heartbreaking because you know um, we need them. The jobs that will be created. There was a sister who actually went through why Incubator, right, who had a fintech idea and could not continue to raise the money. She had to shut it down. But it
There's
also goes,
so many
yeah,
companies like that. And somebody else will come behind her
hmm,
with a couple of 10, $20 million that they got from their uncle.
yep,
And they'll make her dream a reality.
yeah,
That's why we exist, to try to stop
exactly.
that from happening. And it's not easy, right?
No,
These are everyday people. We don't have, not to my knowledge, if we have
right,
rich people in this community, define rich because they haven't knocked on my door and said, "Hey, I'm rich, Tawana." These are everyday people in this
yeah,
community, right? But we're looking to build wealth And we are intentionally doing that by adding Black founders to our portfolio, right? And we know that there is more than just a tagline when we talk about Black beauty and Black magic and Black exceptionalism and all of those things. We know this to be true because we live it every day. We
Yeah.
just need the rest of the world to catch up. And until they do, we're standing in the gap. That's why we're here.
And it's the spirit behind it. There's a lot of people in Chicago that they like the idea of Black Wall Street. They take the name Greenwood, Archer, but they don't have the spirit. And you can tell because we're seeing Black businesses not getting any funding. So they like to go with the name because it's cool and it does this. I'm looking the 10K project. You can tell there's a spirit behind it, right? You can tell there's a spirit behind it, and that's what's moving through the members of 10K. That same one spirit, and I think that's why I said you guys have no clue how much of a blessing you are. My goal is so that the 10K project keeps going because I'm going to add to what you're giving. So now, when a founder comes that may not be under 1921, you're like, oh yeah, we can do that. $500, that's it. All right, give me 50 of them. All right, because you'll have the money,
Right.
whatever that
Right.
TikTok is. Give me 100
Right.
of them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right. Right.
this is delicious. Give me 100. And so, but that's really what I want to do. And again, I've been to Tulsa. I walked where Black Wall Street was. I literally, people probably thought I was crazy, but I sat down and just put my hands on the
Mm.
street. You know what I mean? I just wanted to understand. And years ago, I met a young lady. Well, she wasn't young then, but she was one of the original people who was from Black Wall Street. She spoke at an event,
Wow.
and I got a chance. This is the first time I heard of Black Wall Street, and she shook my hand, and I was like, wow. And I believe, and I don't know why this has been given to me. I believe after meeting her, and it's weird, I know whatever you want to call it, and shaking her hand, I believe this has been transferred to me all these
Mm.
years later. And that's why I'm so passionate about it because I just saw something in her and I've been nothing but Black Wall Street ever since in 1921. And I didn't even have 1921 20 years ago. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
But
Right.
20 years later, here I am after meeting this woman. And I think I shared in the last presentation when I spoke at the 100-year anniversary, city officials want me to build a 1921 in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which would be full circle. So for whatever reason, whatever that system passed to me, my goal is to, through these tech startups, through 10K, through my stakeholders, is to continue that spirit on.
Well, we
So
are happy to be a part of your tribe and to have you a part of ours. So thank you
thank
so
you.
very much, sir.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you again. You have no, you have a clue, but really, what the 10K project is, yeah.
Well,
So
I love it. This has been great. To the community members, you know what to do. If you're interested, reach out to Brittany. If you like what you saw the first time, this time, share it with a friend or a family member.
Jackie, what's up, Jacqueline? Jacqueline's so cool. We've
Isn't
talked
Jackie
on the
awesome?
phone.
Jackie is
She's
awesome. Yes.
awesome. And we've talked, and listen, please call me too. I love to talk. And you may be like, okay, James, okay, day. You know what I mean? Like, day, we've been on the phone for 40 minutes, but Jacqueline is awesome. Yeah.
She
Okay.
really is. We love her here at 10K. She
Yeah.
has done so much for us and bringing amazing founders to our attention and always being here for us. So we definitely appreciate Jackie and all the other members here.
Yeah.
Like Talisha and I were talking about it the other day, and it's just like we love this community. And sometimes it ain't easy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot of people look like you said are closing the doors and
Yeah.
um it pops up every so often, but this is important work that we're doing here and we matter, and
You
the
do.
founders that we support matter and they need us.
Yeah. No, they do. I mean, what we'll be able to do in 1920, it will, we've had investors, but what 10K has been able to do has been able to really make it happen. So thank you.
You're
So,
welcome. All right.
all
On
righty.
that
Thank you.
note, and James, I'm going to take my picture to send it to. Actually, when you were talking, I was snapping
Oh,
selfies.
that right?
So I'm gonna send you one of my selfies.
All right, good, good, good.
Actually, you
I
need to
love
take a picture of this. Take this screenshot of you
Oh,
and
this
him.
screenshot.
Yes,
Okay.
take the screenshot.
Well, how do I do that, Talisha? Why are you telling me to do tech stuff that you know I don't know how to do?
So there's a button that says screen, print screen. Just take the shot of your
No, I think I
screen.
got to do two buttons. Is it like shift, control, something, something, isn't it?
Oh,
Oh, it's Shift Command 3.
Okay, hold on. Let me do it. I'm gonna do
Lord.
it and then smile too. Hold on. Shift
Just,
Command
oh,
3.
Lord.
Hold on. Like Shift Command 3. Oh, it took it.
Oh, yeah.
It took it. I see it down there.
I've been holding my breath all this time, although you know, I've been like, you know.
Oh, y'all funny.
Goodness. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful
Yeah.
evening. Oh, I had a couple of updates. Oh, this hat is hot, James. This is a good
I
winter
know.
hat. I mean, it's a good hat. It's good
I'm
material
telling
hat.
you, it's quality.
It is
It's quality.
hot. What was I gonna say? Oh, to the community members, keep us in your prayers. Our retreat members, we're going to Marrakesh this weekend for our week-long retreat, wealth building retreat, Ambition Meets Serenity. So I am so excited about that. Keep us in your prayers for traveling graces. And then also just that we have this amazing week together where we bond and we learn from one another. But more importantly, we figure out how to get some more of this money, right? And so, so we are excited. And hopefully next year, some of you can join us. I'm already thinking about next year's location. And I really have it in my spirit that this will be an annual thing. So super excited about what we're getting ready to do to continue changing lives. So thank you all to the 10K Project community. James, again, thank you. And we are
Thank
super,
you.
super excited. Talisha, I love you. Thank you always for being my right hand and telling me what buttons to press. And
Robert
you
says
all
he
have
wants
a
to be a
wonderful
10K
evening.
member. Robert
Robert said, I'd
Spencer.
like to be a 10K member to formally
Awesome.
become one. Robert, you got to be one already, aren't you? How else did you get in here? Oh, this is Tuesday. So this is open.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no,
I was
Robert,
about to
absolutely. I thought this was Monday. This is not Monday. This is
say.
Tuesday. Awesome. Robert, send me an email at the T Rivers at the10kproject.com, or you can go to the10kproject.com at the website and fill out your information there to join the newsletter. And then also there's a become a member button. And then you'll be invited to the Monday night sessions that are typically member only sessions. And you'll have access to the Knowledge Center that has all of the prior wealth building seminars that we've done over the last almost 5 years. Can you believe that, guys? It's
Awesome.
almost
Come
been
on.
5 years. And so we've got a ton of content. We're moving over to a new back-end system. You guys met Audrey Taylor with Tailor Made Branding and Easy Flow CMO. We're moving to this system. James, if you ever need a back-end system, I've got the perfect person for
Oh,
you.
really? Okay.
Ever need a marketer, I've got the perfect person for you to help launch these apps. So we can talk about that
Okay.
offline. She's amazing. But she's in the process now of moving all of our content from the Knowledge Center into her new system. And she was like, you guys have a ton of content. I'm like,
Mm,
yes, 5 years worth of content. It's just
yes.
great information. It's going to be organized in a better way in our new system. So for those of you who have been around, it's going to feel like new content because you'll be able to find it. You know, if you didn't see it the first time, you probably haven't gone back to look at it. Now you'll be able to see it, find it. It'll be categorized perfectly. I mean, I'm so excited about Easy Flow CMO that I can't help talking about it. Like I get so excited, and I wish she would have built it 5 years ago so that we could have used it from the beginning. Because it's really going to change this business. For any new businesses coming up, they need to start with this system and be able to see the success immediately. So James, really, really, each app as they develop, I think they
Mhm.
probably need this back end system.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. We would
Yeah,
love the
and
contact.
I'll
Yeah.
connect you. I'll make an introduction. I'll do that tonight. I'll make an introduction just so she can talk to you about the system and just even about the marketing stuff that she does. Her firm is amazing.
Oh,
Uh,
good. Is she out of well, we'll talk. We'll talk. I'm sorry.
she lives in
We'll talk
LA.
about
She's out of
okay.
LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And she actually is one of the founders. She was here from the beginning with us, and
Oh,
she used
wow.
to be our director of marketing. And then she went off and created this mastermind of a system.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
awesome. I mean, legit, like we're able to replace like 6 or 7 of our tech stack items with her one system.
Wow. Yeah, please,
You know
please.
what kind of world I'm gonna live in when I have to remember 6 additional passwords? Like,
I'm trying to. No, I know what you mean. Listen. Oh my
yeah.
God.
So it's good stuff. So I will definitely connect you. But so
Ooh,
for anyone else
1921 may need
here,
to invest in that.
definitely consider it. But Robert, thank you so much for your willingness to join us officially. We're so happy to have you. You said you're in Australia and have some task questions. Awesome. We can answer whatever questions you have. And I think you might be our first member in Australia. We're in other countries, but not Australia yet. So absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much.
Well, that'll be good because Sydney is on our city for best date night.
Ah,
So,
okay.
all right, we got a contact
Very
now.
good.
All right.
Very good.
I
All
love
right,
it.
guys.
Okay.
I'm gonna take
Thank
my
you.
hot 1921 hat off now and
All right. Yes, please. We'd love to
one
have
of
you
the
as
nice New
stakeholders.
York winter hats.
I know. Let it please so we can get you one of these very nice, as she just said, very nice. This is no cheap hats, all right? These are nice, thick hats that are going to keep your head warm. I wear mine throughout the winter, especially here in Chicago. All right, I'm sorry. I'm done.
All
I'm done.
right. Okay.
Okay.
Good night,
Thanks so
everyone.
much.
Mwah.
All right.
Peace and
Bye-bye.
blessings.
Yep. I love it.